Hey everybody, welcome to another model building workshop here at the Smith Hill Library in Providence, Rhode Island. Today we're going to do a quick talk about the Grumman Widgeon. This is a kit from US Airfix. So basically it's an Airfix kit and was marketed through the US Airfix line, which I think was in the early 80s, I'm guessing, based on my own memory of being young. So, as you can see, it's a seaplane used throughout World War II and beyond, because it's in a lot of private collections now. It's a pretty popular plane for like beaches, island resorts, and stuff like that that have little passenger services. So a lot of these are in private hands right now all over the globe. So the model comes in this, or at least the box art in the model kit includes decals to do a Coast Guard version from 1930s, early 1940 period, prior to the United States getting involved in World War II. So it's got the nice silver and yellow Coast Guard emblems with the American flag on the back. Very colorful, very attractive looking marking options. So this is an older Airfix kit, marketed, like I said, through US Airfix for a short time. And I picked up a bunch of these a while back on eBay, actually not that long ago. And we were doing these at the library, had a bunch of them, we were still working on them. And so there's good and bad with this kit, and I'll get into that. So let's look at the instructions. The instructions are pretty basic. One sheet, a lot of blow-up illustrations. Kind of busy. It might have been better to have a couple pages worth, but hey, they're trying to be economical, right? Very simple painting guide here for a decal layout. So the Grumman Widgeon was designed as a commercial amphibian, and there's also the Gosling version, which had the radial engines instead of the inline engines that the Widgeon here has. It could carry underwing bombs and depth charges, which is what the Coast Guard used for anti-submarine warfare practices, and use during the war. Let's see. So it first entered military service with the U.S. Coast Guard in 1941, and a small number were ordered by the Royal Navy and the Royal Canadian Air Force for communication duties, and they're still, like it says here, still widely used in civilian operators. So this model kit was from 1979. That's what the instruction says at the very bottom here. It's got a date, which is kind of nice because a lot of these kits don't really have those. So there are pros and cons of this kit. So as you can see, the instructions make it seem very simple, and in many ways it is simple to build. And so like I said, I picked up a bunch of these, and I do mean a bunch of these, on eBay at a really good price. Got a whole stack of them because it works really great when you're working with a large group of youth like I'm doing here at the Smith Hill Library. So it made sense to order something. You can get a whole pile of them. So let's take a look at some of these. Some of the ones that the kids are working on. Here's one that's essentially finished. This hasn't been painted. So you'll see, I mean, there is a lot of glue, and there's some fit issues like these engines. The mountings are a little rough, a little crude. Window, the one-piece window here is a little hard to squeeze in. So the detail is not great. The fit, as you can see, is not terrific. I know, like I said, I know these are kids that are working on it, but these kids are pretty good overall in this program, and they've done some good things. So the fit is a little, the wing fit onto the top of the body could be better. So what I found working on these kits with the kids, because I did build this a long time ago, and my memory of how this went together kind of vanished. I just remember having the fun of seeing it built. So there's a lot of things if you were to do this yourself or with kids, there's a lot of things you're going to have to work on. There's a lot of cleanup to this kit. There's an awful lot of sanding, filing, scraping, cutting. There's a lot of that to this kit. So you got to weigh that, because my thought, because we're working with youth, inner city library here in Providence, and we don't have the biggest budget, so we're trying to be economical and get the best bang for the buck. So in a sense, that works with these kits, and it's why you see that I'm working with so many of these Airfix kits, because of that, because you can do well for the price. But it did make extra work for me to try to clean these kits up before I gave them out to the kids to build, because we quickly discovered on the first try, on the dry run, that there was a lot of things that were going to need to be cleaned up. So the pontoons tended to be a bit of an issue. Trying to get these struts, I think you can even see they're not the greatest on this kit. Although it's a teen that did this one. Did pretty well, but still, you know, had some problems. Stabilizers are always an issue on these aircraft kits, and kids always struggle with that. So there are some challenges to the kit and some of those small pieces and fiddly bits. So I did have to do a lot of drilling out, just another one here, to get these the pontoons and the struts to sit in them properly. You know, the braces, this one's got the stabilizers on backwards bend, which is a common problem I run into with some of the kids. This is a much younger kid doing this one. But still, you know, overall, did a pretty nice job. But there's a lot of cleaning up. To get these engines to sit properly in there, it did take a lot of scraping. These are things I had to do, you know, before we even met with the kids and started up the program for the day, having these things already addressed. Because, you know, it was going to be a major headache when they start working on them. So I'll show you a couple more that are in process, just so you get a sense. So, you know, for me, the jury's out on this kit. You know, because, like I said, it's a cheap kit. It's a neat subject matter. And here you can see on the wing, you've got this cutout here, which is supposed to drop into this hole here. And well, in this case, it actually fits pretty well, but on some of them it did not, and required a lot of sanding and cutting and scraping, and in some cases getting the wings together. So every bit, yes, we had to clean these up quite a bit. So that's actually going together fairly well there. So it took a bit of work, but there's another one's in process. One thing I did, which the kids did not argue, I did recommend that they put the wheels up, because having them, you know, retracted on those little tiny struts and braces was kind of a recipe for disaster. And I'll show you one that I did a while back that has that, and even I didn't have the best of luck with it. You know, you can see how this is set up and how you have to put that engine in there. So there's a lot of spots where it can get caught up on the wing and on the front there. So it needed a lot of work. So I give this mixed reviews, mostly on the poor side because of the extreme amount of cleanup involved. But it can make a decent looking model. So here's one I did back a ways in the Coast Guard pre-war colors, and you can see there's the landing gear, which if you look at that, you can see how fiddly that is. And even I didn't have the best of luck with this kit. You can see that the engines, some of this is not the greatest. My paint job at the time wasn't the best either, but anyhow, this is the colorful Coast Guard markings. And providing the decals work, which we didn't get to that stage with these kits to see if the decals even operate. So it's a little dusty, but here's the colorful Coast Guard pre-war option. And then when I did one, with the kids as a sample piece, this is one I did recently, and I did a 1942 World War II using the blue-gray colors, which would have been wartime. More basic look to it, camouflage. But yeah, it does take a lot of work. See, even here the propeller wants to come out. The propeller blades are a little bit on the flimsy side, and everything required a lot of sanding and sculpting to get these to look decent, because there's an awful lot of flash. So it's not a bad model, but you got to be ready for a lot of challenges with this kit. But anyhow, that's a very quick rundown on the old Airfix and US Airfix Widgeon kit. So if you try one, I'm trying to give you all of the insider scoop that I can, that you're going to be using your X-Acto and your files quite a bit. But it can be fun when you're done. And the fact that there's so many options for this, I mean, not included in the with the kit and the decals, but there's a lot you can do with this because it's civilian markings. There's so much you can do. If you go on the internet, you can see so many interesting pictures of these things and so many colorful schemes. And then even some of the military versions from around the globe. The British ones are interesting, and there's a Portuguese one that's really colorful with silver and the Portuguese crosses on it, which is pretty intriguing. So that's out there as well. Have a look and see. Anyway, there's the Widgeon. And we'll see you soon on the Model Building Workshop. Bye now.